Hello, Twitch. Good afternoon. It's a suddenly very rainy day here in central Ohio, which is good. We needed some rain. Some of my grass uh, definitely needed some precipitation, so it's good. But it might be a little noisy. You hear in the background. I'm in the basement of my house, kinda. I'm on my house is on like a incline, decline, I guess, depending on how you look at it. And so right out my back window here is the driveway. So water is loud when it hits on the driveway, and right over there is my sunroom or Florida room, whatever you call it, and it has like a thin metal roof, so the rain is a little noisy on that. So um, if you hear any of that in the background, sorry for that, but I can't really do much about the rain. I don't have anything nearly sophisticated as like a soundproof booth yet. So welcome to my office. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the trivia. Anyone that was watching trivia, you can submit some questions right here.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey, Calvin, what's going on? Thanks for hanging out with us. Calvin, you guys submit some more trivia questions over here. I'm kind of struggling. They're like most of them are mine, obviously, but I like to mix up a little bit. So submit some trivia questions. Calvin, certainly, you have a responsibility as a moderator and founder and Twitch Prime member and my ride or die to help me out with a few questions. But everyone else who's watching, it includes you on YouTube. Go to this link right here. Submit some trivia questions. It'll be fun. And you have to log in with Twitch, so your Twitch name will appear on there. Submitted by so and so, so you get a byline as well on my stream. So it should be lots of fun. And computer science, computer programming related, computer history, computer business, all fair game. All right, this is episode number 82. And it's going to be kind of a chill episode today. I have a assignment to review and validate a certain page in documentation. I started on this page a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, Calvin's like, be right back. Already. I mentioned docs, and he's like, I'm out. I started on this a while back, and it's actually turned out to be more effort than the first time I did this. So I've been really busy with other stuff, but I need to get back into this today. So hopefully we'll finish it up today. I got a couple hours blocked out for this. Should give me enough time to get this done. But this is a question-friendly channel. So you got questions about whatever you see, or just general questions about programming and computers and whatever else. You're trying to solve a problem with HTML, or you're trying to solve a problem with a loop in JavaScript. Those are things that have quote derailed this channel before. But this whole thing exists because I want it to be a fun, safe place for people to come and hang out and ask questions, no matter how simple they might seem on the surface. There's no such thing as a stupid question here. So ask away. I'm a member of the Live Coders team, and I'll get a browser open, and I'll sing everything like this for some reason. And these are all my team members, 161 of us. And right now, only a handful streaming. Usually on Thursday, it's a little busier than this. Looks like Michael Jolly just started streaming. But yeah, usually a little busier than this. But yeah, quite a few people here. This is a great place to go if you're looking for some people who are streaming about code and stuff. Alana Lux seems to be perpetually streaming these days. Every time I bring up this list, even like other hours of the day, she's always at the top of this list. And that's because she's always doing really cool stuff with like 3D modeling and gaming, and that just makes sense that she's very popular. But it's cool. InstaFluff, one of my favorites as well. Great channel. So we're going to come back here later, and we're going to pick one of these people that are still streaming. We're going to give them a raid. Although, it's a pretty chill day, so we might not have a huge raiding party, but every little bit counts. And you can also check out the Live Coders website, livecoders.dev. And you can go to /members there and see a list of all the members, what they stream about, where you can find them on social media, on Twitch, and so and such and such. Okay. Awesome Developer Streaming List is another place you can go. And I think I've got little commands for these now. Yeah, look at that. Yes, that was something we added last stream. You can go to Awesome Developer Streams, GitHub/BNB/Awesome Developer Streams, a list of developers who are streaming and where you can find them, whether it's Twitch or Facebook or YouTube or wherever it is. what they're streaming, where they're streaming, what they're streaming about. And you can do a Control F here to search for keywords that interest you when it comes to coding. Great place to go. And GrovesTube, right there on the bottom screen towards the left. This is where I keep all the videos of previous episodes and highlight clips and anything else that I upload. You can go find here, bit.ly/GrovesTube. I don't think the latest episode has been exported yet. I could be wrong about that. But other than that, they're all there. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello, thanks for joining. Maybe it's just the live stream isn't normal hours for you, or you want to watch at 2x speed, you want to skip around, totally cool. But leave a comment there, say hi, ask a question, and I'll answer it on a future stream, that sort of thing. And make sure to like and subscribe and all that business. I want to give another shout out to this cool project from a regular here in the channel, J.R. Lawhorn, and he has created a Laravel Couchbase extension. He hasn't created it. He forked it and updated an older extension for Laravel. Laravel is a PHP MVC framework for building web apps in PHP, and he's writing a PHP app using Couchbase as his database. So he created an extension to sort of make it easier for Laravel and Couchbase to communicate with each other. So want to check that out for sure. Here's the link to that repo. And if you want to see an example of getting started with that and just getting started with Laravel in general, you can check out this project called, same place, but just add demo to the end, Laravel Couchbase Demo. This is J.R. Lawhorn's demo app, basically, of getting started writing a Laravel application with a Couchbase backend. And you can do it all in Docker. And I really need to get some time, maybe in the next couple weeks, sit down and really go to town on this, maybe even use a whole stream on it. I'm probably going to have JR on the stream in the future as well. But this is ideal. It's supposed to work on any platform, Windows, Mac, or Linux. So very cool. I wanted to promote that. Thank you for that stuff, JR. NDC Oslo is coming up. It is next week. Can you believe it? It's getting real. NDCOslo.com. Go. Sign up. Check it out. It's a virtual conference. You may not get this chance again to see NDC Oslo virtually. So very cool conference. World-renowned. Definitely want to check that out. I will be presenting there. For some reason, they let me in to present, which is awesome. I'm stoked about it. But you want to go and sign up for all the other great courses, not courses, but sessions, presentations, and content and stuff for NDC Oslo. And speaking of great conferences, the Live Coders Conference is coming up shortly after that. So the week following? Saturday. The Saturday following, June 20th. Definitely want to check that out. This will be live here on Twitch. No Bo Dad. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the channel here. So definitely want to go check out Live Coders Conference as well. Coming up soon. All right. Let's get into it. Nickel documentation. So Nickel is Couchbase's SQL implementation. That's the approach. So I am working on validating a page in that documentation, and I'll show you here. It's this page right here, and this is what I worked on in the past. And I can do a little preview here on the right. One thing I think I've done this. I did this off stream, I think, and I'm gonna have to remember how I did this. Docs. Docs site, yes, something like this, and then I say, what do I say? Antora? No, I say Antora and local Antora playbook. Yes, so Antora is a build tool for ASCII doc sites. Okay, so you notice the errors here. That's totally fine. That just means that there are some pages that have problems with them. That's okay. But if I go over here to docs site and I open up, go to public, and then go to index, voila, I've got Couchbase documentation. This is the same, if you go to docs.couchbase.com, you'll see the same thing, right? Slightly different, right? It's interesting why they are slightly different. What's the new home? But anywho, so it means I can compile and build the site locally, so I can see how it actually looks and make sure all the links and everything, all the interplay between the pages works how I'd expect it to. So very cool. If I go to, let's see.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
What's up, Surly Dev? Thanks for stopping in. Hey, hey to you as well. So this is the section I'm working on is actually the .NET SDK section of the documentation. You can see up here, .NET SDK. Let me just get a little zoom skis on that. .NET SDK. You keep forgetting about that intro. Do you like it or not? Is it getting annoying? I love it. I love that sort of thing because it really draws attention to the regulars. And Surly Dev, by the way, got moderator last time, so he's my newest moderator here in the channel. So I think it's just Calvin, Coral, and Surly. Maybe TBD Gamer. I can't remember if I gave TBD Gamer mod or not. I haven't seen TBD Gamer in a while. Surly Dev wields his sword proudly. I hope that's not a euphemism, because that is not appropriate. Okay, and so I'm in the .NET section of the documentation. So the documentation of Couchbase, like Couchbase itself, is split up into lots of different sort of repos. They all come together into one project. So there's like a .NET repo, there's a Java repo, there's a server repo, there's a sync gateway repo. There's all these different pieces, and they all come together, and which means you can interact with them individually. So I'm focused mainly on the .NET and this specific page in .NET that I'm working on. So what I want to do, since it's been a while since I've been here, since I've worked on this, I want to see my work in progress. So I have not committed yet, if you remember from last time. But I just want to kind of get a reminder of what I was doing and what still needs to be done. So just do a little diff here. So it looks like I got all the way to the bottom, but I think I wanted to move some of these examples into an actual project, which you can see I created here. Yes, but these files do not need to be checked in, so I need to have a git ignore as well. And honestly, git ignore, there's already a git ignore here. Modules, hello world, examples bin. Okay, interesting that we'd have that level of git ignore. What I would prefer to do is just copy a git ignore from, delete me, okay, from some other project that I've been working on, like for instance, Twitchbot. Let's copy this over into here, modules, and it's a how-to, I think, right? Is that where we are? Let me look at this up. How-tos, yeah, how-tos, and we've got examples. So I think having that git ignore here is probably fine. Okay, so then if I go and do a commit skis, actually let me commit that git ignore first. What am I doing? Okay. Yeah, see, all those files disappeared because I don't want to check in the binary compiled versions. Okay. So there's the git ignore. All right, so I think that's all I have left to do. Really is swap out these sort of hard-coded snippets into snippets that I can just sort of include in this file, and that would also make sure that everything's running okay. Just to make sure it's a valid code. So here we go, and so what I've got here is all these various examples. I've just got a plain old console file with all these various examples in their own methods. All right, and I'm going to connect to localhost. Let me travel sample bucket. Let me make sure I have that running. Okay, so I've yes, I don't have this. I've actually blew away my. Well, I didn't blow it away, but I created a new image. New Docker image for Couchbase server. This is 6.5.1. I'm actually working on something for live coders. Ignore that. Ignore. That's behind the scenes stuff. Okay. And so I just want to make sure this is working. And what I'll probably do is just comment these all out just one at a time. So positional parameter example. Is this one right here? And just run it. Control F5, will that do it? I mean, so I think I had this open in Visual Studio before. But let's just run. Sure, whatever. Run it. Let's go. What's the problem here? Why are we running? Okay, do I have to do it from a console? Terminal? Whatever? Oh, it is in how-tos, no, modules, how-tos, examples, Nickel queries SDK, okay, Nickel queries SDK, .NET run. That's a really super small font there, so sorry about that. Can I zoom in a little bit? So what is this query actually doing? It's selecting everything where type use landmark. Okay, that's cool. So that's running how I'd expect. So now I need to bring that in to here. There's the positional parameters example. It's right here. So, oh, tag positional. Okay, yes, I'm remembering now. What the problem is here. I was working on this. I may not have done this in the stream, but I was trying to include, and you can see. If I go back over here, where's my positional parameters? Dealio. This isn't it. Where's the SDK one? Or the query one? There we go. You can see I've got an error here. Unresolved include directive in modules. So why is that not working? This is the problem I ran into last time I was working on this. So what is supposed to happen is supposed to include from this file, at this tag. Why isn't it working? Okay, so we're here on, where are we at? We're at this page right here. So if I go back, let's just do it like this. We'll go back up a directory. That gets me to how-tos, and then I can say examples, Nickel queries SDK, and then program.cs. So, I mean, that should work. And I'll just build this again. And refresh over here, and still not working. Unresolved include directive. I feel like I'm typing something in wrong here. Go queries SDK. Let me just pull the full path. Is there any typos that I made? Oh, that looks right. Why are you misbehaving? Tag positional. That is right, isn't it? Tag positional. Did I tag it correctly? Let me look at some other examples here. I'm using this hash. Why is that? Why are they putting a hash in front of it? But it's tag and end. I don't think that was causing a problem, is it? Pretty sure hash is not part of the ASCII doc spec. But it's worth a shot. Okay, little build skis, refresh keys. Yep, still not happening. Yeah, I don't think that hash is in there. That's probably just a remnant from, I don't know, some copy and paste from Python or something. And my background is not behaving again. The rain stopped and now the lighting's different. Oh gosh. All right, let me see if I can't fix that. Make it just with a little adjustment. You can't fix the weather. Oh, tell me about it. Oh, you want to fix the lighting? Yeah, yeah. Because there's lots of windows down here in my office. Even though I said it's a basement office, there's lots and lots of windows. That's a little better, I guess. You know, one thing I did, and I don't know if I can really show this on stream or not. I tried this yesterday. I have this light from my garage. It's like a big old, like, I don't know, floodlight sort of thing. I thought about using this to light up my green screen better, but it's just way too bright, way too hot for this setting. I feel like I'm going to set stuff on fire. So it's a little too much for that, but I am working on lighting stuff to just make it like more consistent. So apologize for that, but you know, at least it's not as bad as the old chroma cam days. All right. What is the major malfunction here? I feel like, I mean, this, where's this logging example used from? It's got to be like, if I just search for logging.cs. Yeah, here's an example. Where is this? Collecting information and logging. So does that show up correctly? Here it is. This is a page that I didn't write. This is some other page. I'm just looking for examples here. This is the collecting information and logging a doc. Tag log. So add the following code that contains your entry point. Add the following code. Yeah, it looks like that's working correctly. So why doesn't it like mine? Is this like example $sign keyword, which I don't know what that is. Can it not navigate directories for some reason? Try it again. Okay, where are we? Query. There it is. Still unresolved include directive. What if I just do the exact same thing over here? Just copy this. I'll put it right above it. Example that I know works. Build. There we go. And let's see what happens. It works. Why doesn't it like my include, but it likes other include? What have I done differently here? The only thing I can think of is it's these folders. That's the only thing I can think of. But why would that be a problem? What is the index? Oh, the indent equals 0. That's just if you look at the code here, it's all indented here, right? Like 3 tabs or whatever. And I don't want to display all the tabs in the documentation. I want to strip those out. So I'm saying just don't indent. Remove any indentations. This is the same thing up here. You can do it either way. So that's just an ASCII doc directive. I mean, I guess it is one other difference. I could try it. I don't think that's going to be the issue. But it's worth a try. Nope. Same problem. Unresolved include directive. I swear, it's a snake that's going to bite me. I swear, it's just got to be something really simple. I'm not seeing a typo or something that I'm missing. Hey, Taylor and Code, what's going on? I was in Taylor and Code stream a little bit earlier today. I couldn't stay. I didn't finish the news with you, but definitely want to give Taylor and Code a shout out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Did you know anything about ASCII doc directives and Antora, Taylor and Code? You go with path 2, the example doesn't. Yeah, that's the only thing I think of is I do have this path, a couple of extra folders in here. Why would that be an issue, though? And additionally, oh, you know what? It's getting an error here, too. But if I go back to, like, this, examples, see? If I do that, my ASCII doc preview, it still indents it for some reason. My ASCII doc preview works just fine. Why is that not indenting, though? That's weird. Huh. Very strange. So it's Antora that seems to be choking on something, not the ASCII doc itself. Antora is a tool to build basically a collection of ASCII doc files into a site, render it with whatever CSS templates and things. And ASCII doc you can think of ASCII doc as like a more advanced version of Markdown. Let's just try it with that since it's, I don't know. Just does not like it. I don't get it. So this is fine. I don't want that in there. It's got to be the path, right? Which would be super annoying to have to put everything in one path, but it's worth a try. Just to see if that is in fact the issue. Nope. I think I broke something. Oh, what did I break? Example. Oh wait, no, it's example. Sorry, example $, like that. Got it backwards. There we go. Okay, and I refresh. Crying out loud, that's the problem. It just doesn't like the path. I can't abide that though. I gotta figure out a workaround. But I am. You've gone right from the root? Can you have a relative path like example dot path of file cs? It's worth a shot. I mean, well, that's what I was doing with example before. Was example, and then I said nickel queries SDK, nickel queries SDK. This is what I had before. And you're suggesting put that in front of it, like a dot? Like maybe that's the issue? Yeah, okay. That would be great if that worked. Nope. No bueno. Yeah, because I don't really know what this example $sign is. That's really, I think, the crux of the problem here is I assume that it's supposed to be replacement for ... / examples. But I don't know anywhere that's defined in any of this. I really don't. Or if that's something that, I don't know. It's just, I see it used a lot of places, but I don't see it actually defined anywhere. So that may be something that's defined at the site level. Which would be docs site, somewhere in here. Expand those examples, please. Sure. Expand examples. They say they all refer to something without a folder. Oh, what's this? It's a Go example? It's commented out. Oh, am I using the wrong slash? Could that be it? Can you show the folder? Which folder do you want to see? You just want to see this? So this is what I'm in, modules, and then how-tos. And so the page I'm working on is here in pages. It's this one right here. And the examples are in examples, and then I created my own little folder inside of there that contains my project. And there's a file in there that I want to pull examples from, right there. But I'm wondering, I'm seeing this slash over here with Go. I'm wondering if this isn't a case of using the wrong backslash. Where is the provisioning resources bucket Go? Yeah, I'm not in a Go project. This is a .NET. This is commented out. So I suspect this is like a copy and paste artifact from, it's stuff that was copied over from the Go repo. And so there isn't a, this is, where was this? How-tos pages. Yeah, there isn't a Go folder anywhere in here. It's nothing like that. No, this is all commented out. But it does make me think that slash. Do I have to put the different slash in there? Are you thinking, or is the stream frozen? Uh-oh. No, it's not frozen. No errors as far as I can tell. Let me bring it up. It's frozen for you. No, it looks fine. Yeah, refreshed. Okay, looks fine. I'm wondering if it's just the slashes. Like, am I using the wrong slash? That could absolutely be it. Let me try. Yeah, so I mentioned the Go file. There is no Go file. It's that reference there is, you notice it's all commented out. So I suspect this was copied and pasted from the Go repo. And it's just commented out because it doesn't apply to .NET. But I'm thinking, let's just try with the slashes. Da-da-da-da! Got it. I had the wrong slashes in there. Jeez Louise. This all goes back to the Unix and Windows thing. So what I had that slash. I needed this slash. Sure, it was your next suggestion. Sure. But it works. Da-da-da. Fantastic. Okay. It still says unresolved example, but I think that's because this example $ thing is something that Antora suggests. So if I do this, it'll figure it out. But which one should I do? I think I'll follow their lead and just use example $. Okay. You were thinking Linux, right? And so my whole life has been DOS and Windows pretty much. So I've been conditioned to use these slashes for paths most of my life. But Linux, whoa, Linux, Unix, BSD people are using the other slash for everything. Sometimes, depending on the software you use, it's tolerant of either one. But in this case, clearly, it was only tolerant of this slash right here. And I can never remember the names, right? Like, this one I think is backslash. The other one is // open an issue with Antora. I might. That might be a good idea. Whoops. You didn't mean to see that. Backslash and // one of the, I don't know if I hope it's not saying too much, but one of the creators of Antora and AsciiDoc utilities is actually has done some consultant work with Couchbase, the documentation team in the past. So I'm probably going to run it by them first before I just throw an issue out there. But Dan Allen is the guy who is like a major contributor to like ASCII Doctor or ASCII Doc, one of those two, and Entora. So okay, so that's Surly Dev saying / is that one and / is the other one. There's a, let me see if I can find it here. David Neal / comic. So I can find it somewhere. Yeah, here it is. This is a comic that David Neal, Reverend Geek, drew, and this still doesn't help me. And but I still get it mixed up. But there you go. That's how you can tell the difference between / and /. That's Slash the guitarist from Guns N' Roses fame. For the younger of us watching. That's a good one. Okay. All right, so if I do a quick rebuild here. And then this should only show once now, and it does. Okay, fantastic. All right. Now I'll do a similar thing with the named parameter example. So that's over here. The positional parameter, we'll collapse that. Named parameter. Tag named parameter. End name parameter. And this is one of my favorite things with ASCII Doc. If I go in here and put in a comment, tag : named parameter, or whatever, and then at the end I say end : whatever tag, I can then address this part in the middle here and just pull out that piece of code into ASCII Doc. So that's what I'm going to do right here. Oh, by the way, do I need this indent equals 0 there? That seems redundant. Let me just rebuild this and see if that is what I need. Okay, I don't need it in both places. Okay, so I'm going to basically take this and I'm going to call it name parameter. Yep, name parameter. Okay. And refresh. See, it's not indented there. See, this is why the indent equals 0. I don't want that included. So I'll go up here and I'll say indent equals 0. Booyah. Okay. Booyaka, booyaka. The complete code for this page example can be found at. This is one of the pieces I came across the first time I did the stream. And I was like, what? Why is that in there? And so there was no complete code for this page example, but there is now. What would that xref be? Would that be, I don't know. I don't know how that link would work, but let's just try to guess through it here. Nickel queries SDK. Let's see if that does it. Nope. No worky. Okay, I wonder if I can find... Oh, I didn't even type it correctly. Maybe that's the reason. I was hoping I could find an example of that somewhere. Yeah, still doesn't like it. Okay. So complete code, is that anywhere else? Example. Oh, okay. Looks like how it's done. All right, so I'll just do that kind of thing here. Example, and I'll say not document CS, but slash nickel queries SDK, and get the right slashes here. Nickel queries SDK. And I guess I want to link right to the program.cs. I don't know. May as well. I don't like links that are here, but we'll get to that in a second. As long as I get the link to work right, that's easy enough to fix. Look at that. Cool. It's not actually linking. It's not actually showing it to me. I wonder why that is, but it's generating the link, so that tells me that it's working correctly. Oh. No, maybe it's not working correctly. Okay. Maybe not. Let me just see what else we got. Complete code. Complete code example. Just kind of want to see if there's anything else. Docs, no, docs server. This is a much bigger project, but let's see if I can find an example of that. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could give it a GitHub link. Once I have that GitHub link. Hi, I'm George. Meatball Soros. How are you, Meatball? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Hi, I'm George, a 40-year-old physicist, coder, biker, and guitarist from Greece. I'll be here abusing C-Sharp's reflection interface. You know what, Meatball? It is fun to go to town with C-Sharp reflection sometimes, but it's also... yes, it's very hard to not abuse it once you get into it. I wrote a book, 8-9 years ago, and as part of that book, I had to really dig into some reflection, and I learned a lot about reflection, but it is a very powerful foot gun, so they say. It's something you can very easily shoot yourself in the foot with. I'm of the opinion. Reflection should be something that should only be used at a library or framework level, and should not be used by client code, for instance. You're investigating how .NET WinForms' class hierarchy is done. Oh, okay. So you're just using reflection as a learning tool. Very cool. So you are a physicist. That's very cool. Oh, and you're not satisfied with ILDASM. You might want to check out some other tools along those lines. I'm not saying reflection is a bad thing to use and learn about, but what is it? JetBrains has one. JetBrains, I can't remember what it is. Peak. It's free. So, there's another one I used back. I think I might have used .peak when I was writing the book, but there's another one I used for decompiling, because they kind of go hand in hand, right? Reflection, learning about reflection, learning about decompiling. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was Telerik's. Telerik IL decompiler. Just decompile? It may have been just decompile. I don't know how up to date this is these days, but yeah. You come from a language/system that has stupid powerful reflection capabilities. Well, I mean, depending on what language it is, right? Reflection may be easier to do, like as an interpreted language, especially, right? But a C# Java are compiled, so reflection takes a whole different nature. Which language is that? Which language system is that, Meatball? And tell me more about. You're from Greece. Tell me more about your guitar playing. I'm very interested in that. Sys RPL. If you ever coded on a Hewlett-Packard 48 series calculator, it's like fourth. Okay, I've not heard of Sys RPL. I've not used a Hewlett-Packard 48 series. I've never used a Hewlett-Packard calculator, period. I've heard of fourth. I never used fourth, though. So that is some old school stuff there. Fourth has been around for a long time. But that's very cool. That's very cool. What kind of guitar do you play? Ever heard of Lisp? Yes. I've of course heard of Lisp. I've only really used it like in college. I took a course that used Scheme, and it was a course on building a compiler slash interpreter. So we built a Scheme compiler with Scheme. It was kind of the whole point of the course. So car and cooter and all that good stuff. That's my 100% of my Lisp experience is just that one class with Scheme. Your guitar playing, even though I'm at it for like 20 years, only the past year I've taken it seriously. Fourth is Lisp, but reverse. I assume that's Polish notation. Scheme is the right stuff. Yes. Since I've got comics up here, XKCD Fathers parentheses. What's that comic? Yeah, here we go. Here's another comic about Lisp. Lisp is over half a century old, and it still has this perfect, timeless air about it. I wonder if the cycles will continue forever. A few coders from each new generation rediscovering the Lisp arts. These are your father's parentheses, elegant weapons for a more civilized age. Thank you for the follow, August O Priotti. Augusto probably. Augusto Priotti. Cool. I probably said it wrong, but thank you for the follow. Thanks for hanging out. We got two comics here. We got / and /. We got your father's parentheses. That was my main complaint, I think, about Lisp and Scheme. Although, at the time, I guess tooling wasn't probably as good as it is these days. It was much harder to sort of, and this is probably on purpose in a college course. Augusto, okay, I got the Augusto part right at least. It was figuring out how many parentheses and balancing parentheses out and all that kind of stuff. Which can also be a problem in C#, for instance, having parentheses and nested braces and all that kind of stuff. But Lisp, it seemed especially hard. Oh, did I miss it where you said you ride motorcycles as well? Oh, biker. There we go. For some reason, I assumed bicycle, like you just ride bicycle around. But you drive a 98 Honda Hornet, also known as Honda 599 in the United States. Never ridden a motorcycle or a scooter or moped or anything like that in my life. I did get to try an e-bike a few times. Last time I stayed in San Francisco. Hotel was a bit farther than I like to walk from the conference, so I took an e-bike whenever I could, which I found to be tremendously fun to drive an e-bike around in the streets of San Francisco. It was very fun. Yeah, and the San Francisco, it was during Oracle Open World, I think. So most of the e-bikes were taken up, but every once in a while I was able to get one. And it was convenient, yes, but it was also just fun. Because it's like riding a bicycle without like all the strenuous physical activity. You guys are bonding over motorcycles, that's cool. Oh no, haven't ridden the Honda ST 1100 Pan-European in years. I used to work with someone whose husband was a motorcycle enthusiast, I think, and he was in some sort of motorcycle club. But they did this really cool thing where they transported blood around, I think. Like for hospitals and transfusions and stuff. It was like blood bikes or something, some sort of charitable organization like that. It was very cool. Anywho, I don't know beans about motorcycles. Although I did work at a Honda car dealership on and off during high school and college for a number of years. So I've probably driven 2,000, 3,000 different Honda cars. And whenever I see one from the years I worked there, I'm like, oh, I probably drove that one. That's right, people. I've been in your cars. You made some money, working at a car dealership? Yeah, it helped put me through college. I was mostly washing cars, but a lot of it was lot work, right? Moving cars around, parking them, transporting them from place to place. Whoa, I got blurry. Every once in a while, they would let us transport cars to other dealerships in the state. So we'd basically spend a whole day like driving across the state, and I was getting paid for just driving across the state. It was fun. Kudos to me, I guess. It was a fun job. It really was. And honestly, if that blur was recollection going into reminiscence, yeah, I was like, I remember when I worked at a Honda dealership. That was probably the most fun job I ever had. I got to work with my brother, one of my best friends. I come from my time there. It was such a fun job, and I honestly, if it paid me enough to buy a house and raise a family, I would still be working there. It was that much fun. Having a job to get through university would pretty much destroy me. I had several jobs. I don't know how I would have gotten through university without them. But yeah, I also worked at a pizza place where I wrote my first piece of, I guess you could call it commercial software at a pizza place. Worked at a car dealership. What else did I do? I think those are the two main ones in college. I did like a tiny little internship at the college library, working on web pages and stuff, which was kind of cool for the resume. You worked at a pizza place or two? Yeah, my parents owned a pizza shop, so I worked there. I did everything: manager, delivery, cook, answering phones, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I ate a lot of pizza. That was the kind of the main thing for me. Like it didn't pay a ton, but it was convenient, close to me, helping out my family, and I get free meals basically out of it. I just throw myself a pizza in the oven. The past 2 years, about €200 per month for pizza. That's your pizza budget? €200 a month. I've never thought about how much I spend on pizza every month. Let's see. Let's say I get pizza twice a week. Maybe anywhere from, depending if it's just me or the whole family. So we're talking anywhere from 10 to like $30 a week on pizza. If I did it twice a week, that would be about, that could be up to 200 some dollars a month for me. I love pizza. I love it. So the €200 a month, that seems reasonable to me. I don't. So is it true to make puffy crust base, the process takes days? Puffy, huh? I don't know what you mean by puffy. Like you have like the really thick crust pizzas. It's different recipes. Like if you want a sort of a thick crust pizza, it's a different recipe than the sort of the thin crust pizza. And then you got like the pan pizza as well, which is also a different kind of recipe. Which I don't really like the. I don't. I mean, look, I have pizza opinions. I could talk about pizza for days, for days, y'all. I worked at a pizza place, ate pizza practically every day for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years or more, and I still love pizza. So what does that say about pizza? That I can eat that much of it and not get sick of it. Although, true story, the pizza place I worked at served Pepsi, was the beverage of choice there. And before I worked there, Pepsi, Coke, it's all the same to me. I didn't really care. But I drank so much Pepsi at this place, I got absolutely sick of it, and so I can't stand Pepsi anymore. It's like my fifth choice when it comes to soda. I had pizza just last night? No, Tuesday night I had pizza. There's a place here, like within walking distance, called Romeo's Pizza, and they make a stuffed crust, what they call like loaded crust, which is a crust with cheese in it. It is tremendous. It is a really good stuffed crust pizza. Let's see, cheddar or Parmesan, pepperoni, jalapenos. Cheddar or Parmesan on a pizza? I don't know about cheddar. Calvin buys maybe one frozen pizza per week. That's it. I'm a cheapo. No, not at all, Calvin. That's reasonable. But, there's no substitute for fresh pizza. Most frozen pizzas don't even come close. Papa John's pizza base is the best. You're talking about their crust. I agree. Papa John's crust is tremendous. That's probably my favorite style of crust. Although there is one exception. There's a pizza place in the college town I went to for my bachelor's, and they have like a Sicilian style crust, like a very bready, like they probably use bread flour in it, sort of thing. And it is my favorite pizza in the world. Yeah, Calvin, that's called being responsible. Not stuffing your face with pizza twice a week. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. Yeah, the garlic dip though, not really my deal. I just like the crust by itself. It's important to eat it with your hands, not cut the pieces with fork and knife, because then the pizza doesn't touch your lips, and you lose a lot of flavor. Okay. I agree with that. My partner has me take the special garlic dips to Germany with me when I go over. You can't get Papa John's garlic dips in Germany? Do they not have Papa John's in Germany? Who eats pizza with cutlery? I'll eat pizza with cutlery. Honestly, I will do it. Depends on what kind of pizza it is, right? Could pizza be made with tzatziki sauce? Ugh. I mean, probably, but I don't want that nonsense. If it's a thin crust pizza and if it's cut like party style, then if I'm in a situation where I'm out dining out somewhere, I don't want to get like really greasy hands, so I will eat it with fork and knife. Hey, J.R. Lawhorn, what's going on? We got it's welcome to Pizza Talk. This is great. I could talk about pizza all day long. Yeah, if you could fold it, but if it's not cut in wedges, if it's cut party style, then you can't really do that. And then now we're going to get into the argument about cutting party style versus cutting wedges. And either one is fine with me. I think both approaches have their merit. What I can't forgive, and I hate this annoys me, is when I get a pizza delivered to me and it's been cut poorly, or trying to take one piece out, I end up having to having to like sort of pull it apart. The demo app to build is now a pizza ordering app. That was what I built. I built it in Quick Basic for my parents' pizza shop. It was a pizza ordering point of sale application to take orders and print them out. The worst pizza I can imagine is one of those with extremely thin and floppy base and a huge block of cheese on top. It's not rich. That's ridiculous. I mean, it has to depend on a lot of factors for me. Because how thin is thin? How huge is a huge block of cheese? Party style is, yeah, you call it squares or grid, right? Because squares isn't accurate. It's not squares. It's, some of them are like, some edges aren't really squares. They're like little triangle sort of wedges things. But yeah, party style, grid system, whatever you want to call it. Cut poorly, not through the base properly. You keep using this word base. Is that how you say it over in the UK?
Bada bing, bada boom.
I say crust over here. You have those really thinly cut slices and a massive one next to it. Remember Pizza Hut Edge Pizza? Was that where it's edge to edge toppings? There's a company based here in Ohio, actually,
Bing, bada,
called...
boom.
Man, I'm getting all kinds of follows here just from this pizza talk. I'm going to have to switch the theme of this channel to just pizza. Which is fine by me. Thank you for the follows, everybody. Meatball for the follow. And who was the other one? Joe, J-O-A of 20A. J-O-A of 20A. Thanks for the follows, everybody. Appreciate it. Yes, at the Edge Pizza, there's a company here in Ohio called Donato's Pizza, and that was their whole thing, is the edge-to-edge toppings. Like, there's not a big hunk of crust at the edge. You get more toppings. Therefore, we can charge more for the pizza. It's also really good pizza. So, I used to cut mine like that. Squares, my garlic breads, when I worked at Domino's. Yeah, I couldn't imagine a Domino's pizza party cut, because it's a relatively big piece of crust. And so, you're going to end up with some pieces that are just crust only. Which, speaking of Domino's, has anyone ever seen this before? This is as old as the moon. None pizza with left beef. This is an old blog post. So when Domino's first had their online ordering system, this was kind of back when this was a really kind of new thing. You could order your pizzas online, and the options were kind of open. So you could order a pizza, and you select all the different options this way. This guy went crazy with the system just to test it out. He said, "Here's my pizza. I want no cheese, no sauce, none of these toppings. I just want beef on the left, the left side of the pizza. That's it." And Domino's, they made it. They made a pizza with just beef on the left with nothing else on it. And this was, oh my gosh, there's a necklace for it. And yeah, this was really funny back in the day to see this. So there we go. We got none pizza, left beef. Domino's has an infuriating toppings pricing system. It's stupid. I don't know. I don't know if it's different where you are, but every time I order, it seems pretty reasonable to me. So I don't know. I always, the mobile website versions of ordering sites, those always bother me because they're really, really like super slow. Probably because there's like 30 gigs of JavaScript files that are on there that my phone's trying to handle. And that always bothers me. Okay, maybe I should get some work done today. I grabbed the toppings list for every pizza from the page source. Turns out the most toppings are the Diavola one and the Mama's one. Huh? The Domino's special one. Every pizza from the page source. Huh. I don't know what these things are you're mentioning me, but I'll take your word for it. Domino's might work differently overseas than what I'm familiar with. We should just substitute veg for veg, meat for meat, and put it on the nearest fitting special and charge for any extras. That's an idea for a future stream. Mobile first pizza order app in Blazor, of course. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would like to get into Blazor one of these days. But I tell you what, if you're looking for Blazor content, you should probably check out, if I can spell his name correctly, Charbonneau. Oh, I hope that's right. Nope, didn't spell it right. Ed Charbonneau. Ah, crying out loud. Why does your name have to be so hard to spell? Ed Charbonneau. This is the guy you want to check out for Blazor stuff. Oh, I did spell it right. Did he change his name on Twitch? What in the world? Shout out Ed Charbonneau. Why you no work? Did my bot crash or something? Did my site go to sleep? Maybe. Let's see. It shouldn't have. Let me refresh this. Why isn't it working? Current project isn't working either. Everything's broken. What did I do? Oh gosh, I don't know. How do you tell when you cave into pressure? We say bend in Greek. I do not remember the English variant. When you cave into pressure? I mean, cave in or bend, those both work for me. Is there another expression for giving in, I guess? Give in. I don't know. Yeah, I think give in is probably it. Or fold, maybe. Like a card game. I'm going to fold. All right. Handling results. I feel like I'm going to cave in today and buy pizza. I can't take it. Yes, fold. It's always a good day for pizza. I literally could eat it every day, and back in college there were some weeks where I did. It was back when I had a much better, faster metabolism. Okay, handling results. Swap out the toppings and you're done. In most cases, your query will return more than one result. Maybe be looking to iterate over those results. Okay, so I think I have an example of this over here. Maybe. Oh, I want to make sure this actually works too. That sample I just imported. Let's make sure that works. Looks like it does. Very exciting. Okay. Whoop. Shoot. Giving Pluralsight a lot of free advertising today. This is the... Okay. Not bounded. Really, I just want to include this whole thing. But I don't want those tags to be in there. That's kind of annoying. I guess I could make another example. Arts plunge. Art? Is it arts plunge or is it art splunge? Anyway, thanks for following. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out this stream. Even though we're just working on docs today, which is not super glamorous, but gotta be done. Got to be done. Okay. You know, what I could do is I could just name parameter. I could just repeat. Yeah. Should be end. So in this case, that will be the same as up here. Oh, don't want to use name parameter though. Yeah, why not? It'll be this plus name parameter 2. Like so. Build. Nope, not build. Ah. And Tor. There we go. See, I should have used the window feature of terminal. Okay, there we go. All right, and back over here. And yes, needs to be indent equals 0 though. Y'all are supposed to catch that. You all are responsible for my mistakes because you're all distracting me with thoughts of pizza. There we go. Okay, scan consistency is next. Let me just make sure this looks good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, scan consistency is next, and that's right here. This is the not bounded example. So that is, collapse all these, comment this one out. Not bounded, I'll just make sure it works. Not doing anything? Okay. Why aren't you doing anything? What's your problem? I'm going to upsert. Oh. Yeah. Yes, the new users may not be indexed yet. Okay, so that's actually... No. It should have worked the second time around. ID. Why would I put ID here? Is that what I seriously put? ID? Okay. Alright, so if I go over to here, and I go to couch base, and the buckets, and the travel sample, and put an ID. There's Mike. Mike not bounded, there he is. So why isn't this query getting him? Where type equals user. Huh? Oh. Because of this. Good weather is coming. Go take care of your bike. It's a shame to have such a nice bike and ignore it. Come on. Oh, Meatball is giving you some serious motorcycle shame there, Surly. See, now it's getting sunnier out here. I knew that rain wouldn't last very long. See, I'm getting lighter and lighter, like there's a halo effect around me here. See if we can't adjust this again. His bike is quite expensive. I think what he should do is he should give it to you. Someone who appreciates it. Oh, that's looking a little better. A little. Okay, that's fine. We'll live with it. Okay, so what I want is an example of just this part where I say not bounded. And, oh, no, I need to fix this. I need new brake discs and a major service and probably new tires with a Y. It's been stood still for so long. Just to understand, do a Google image search, excuse me, for Honda ST1100. Okay. Honda ST1100. Just remember, I have no frame of reference for what is a cool motorcycle or not. Is that what we're talking about here? ST1100? Looks like a two-seater. Yours is dark green. Okay. Green. Is this yours right here, Surly Dev? You get a little sidecar like this. Is that like a two-person sidecar? That's pretty cool. Has a V4 engine? No, you can't have a V4, can you? That doesn't work. Why not? Well, is it? I guess I don't know. I guess you can. I don't see why not. For some reason, I thought like, I don't know. It makes a V shape, right? V6 and V8. I guess you can make a V shape with a 4. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know anything about engines. Oh, okay, yeah. So you have 2 on each side, making okay. Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking. Sure, you have a V4. Why not? I don't know. I worked at a Honda dealership. Doesn't mean I knew anything about engines or cars or anything like that. I did take apart a lawnmower engine in shop class in high school. Never got to work. I set off from a standing start at the top of the motorway, slip road, when I was doing the test ride on it. And by the time I got to the bottom, I was doing 90 mph. Some Honda cars are gorgeous. Let me show you. I never got to drive one of these. These came out right when I was working at the Honda dealership. AJ 2017, what's going on? Thanks for hanging out. Honda S2000. This was a very expensive car, and they only had them for a couple years, I think. Maybe even just 1 year. But I always kind of liked this. Convertible, sort of roadster, 2-seater. Very cool. Here's another one that I've always kind of liked. It's also a 2-seater. Is the CRX. Not these older models, but something like this. Yeah. I always thought these are cool. These are also 2-seaters. But I think my favorite Honda, and this is something I've always said, like, if I ever wanted to buy myself and just trick out a sports car, it would be one of these. I think the 96 model is what I want. A Honda Prelude 96. It's not a 2-seater. It's actually a 4-seater. It's 2 doors. but it's 4 seats. And I think they made up to 6 cylinders. And I think there's even some models that have 4-wheel steering, which is pretty wild. But I always like the look of these, and just to trick it out with like the spoiler and, all the accoutrement, sunroof, all that kind of stuff. A nice jet black, would be very cool. But anyway, that's I don't know if they were sold outside the States. I don't know what they were called, but this model. Then after this year, they got real ugly. Yeah, this is the 97, 98, 99 Prelude. Ugly. Oh, these are hideous. But the body style before that, I like those much better. Now we've gone from pizza talk to car talk. Yeah, my first like real car that I got was a Honda Accord, '97. This is not not a super beautiful car, but really nice. I had a 4-door. LX is what I think I had. So this is the EX model here. But it's a nice car. And then I had some of the was Acura TL, I think I had after that, which is based on the Accord, I think. It was like this. This was my car I got after that. It's like a luxury version of the Honda, right? The Acura. Those are good. CRV, like the 98 CRVs, I always like those too. Just like this. I've also thought about if I ever wanted to and these are still, the thing with Hondas, they're still pricey, even like these older models. Unless you get like a 300,000 miles on the odometer, they're still pricey. Because that's just the way Honda works. It's a really good resale value for whatever reason. I don't know. But I always like these, the CRVs. They have like that they come with a picnic table, and you can just store it in the back and then unfold it, and you got a picnic table there. They have these really nice roof racks up there. The hatchback's really nice on them. They got these big plastic bumpers, which you can really shine them up. They look real nice. Trivial maintenance, and it will outlive anything that burns oil, including desk lamps. I love it. But yeah, so the only Honda we have right now at my household is a Honda Odyssey, and they're not pretty. I mean, they're not like super sporty, but it's probably one of the best minivans like ever. If you've ever watched the TV show Ozark, this is the minivan that they have. This is like this is probably one of the best minivans. Like, you could talk about Dodge, and they sort of invented the whole minivan, but Honda really perfected minivan. So this is what we have. My wife mostly drives it. This is the LX model you can see here. This is the EX model here. We have the LX model. But yeah, and it has the sliding doors there, and the back row of seats can be folded down. It's very cool. What I have, my own car right now, is a Ford Explorer 99. Just like this one, except mine is super rusty. There's like 30% rust. But I have this, the Ford Explorer Sport 2-door, and it's noisy and rusty, but I barely drive, so no big deal. And then we have one more car, which is a Toyota Solara 2004, I think. Is it a Solara? Yes, I think it's a Solara. We have a convertible. It's a car I got for my wife a few years back. Just like this. You have a Civic 2002 with over 150,000 miles. Yeah, I think all of our cars are either 120, 130, 160. You call your car Cletus? 2002 Civic. Well, Calvin, if you bought it here in Ohio, I've probably driven it. Especially if you bought it here in Central Ohio. Yeah, the Civic. The thing with Civics is they're nice, but for me, I'm like, I can barely fit in them. I'm not super comfortable. Civic Si, that's another one I always kind of liked. The Civic Si in electron blue. So pretty. Yeah. Yeah, I liked the VTEC with the SI and all that kind of stuff. All those engine nerd things. But that color, the electron blue color, I always loved. I remember seeing it on like the big ramp display on the car lot, like at the front of the lot. Really nice. Your favorite car is the Caterham R500. Caterham R500. I never even heard of this. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. This looks like a car out of a movie. A Civic is like the car. Need a car, but don't know much. Get a Civic. Yeah, it's fine. It's a fine car. It's a perfectly cromulent car. This car, on the other hand, is ridiculous. Looks like something out of like what's those Caterham? Caterham? Is that how you say it? What's that movie? Daring Young Men. They're jaunty jalopies. And they're jaunty jalopies, I think. Is that a movie? Those daring young men, they're jaunty jalopies. Yeah, it looks like a car out of that movie. That's an obscure reference for you. It's a British film, though, so maybe you're all familiar with it. It's not super well known here in the States. Also known as Monte Carlo or Bust. There you go. Yeah, it looks like it goes absurdly fast. It looks like it's about 90% engine, so it better go fast. Okay. So at this point, it should run correctly. I do not let run. There we go. Okay. If I run it twice, it definitely should come up. That's the whole point of the not bounded. Is if you notice in the I want to add that in here. Yes. Tag not bounded. That's the whole thing with not bounded, is that it's not bounded to checking any of the indexes. So it'll just return whatever's in the index at this moment. And so indexes are updated asynchronously. That means it's an eventually consistent index. Which in some situations may be totally acceptable. Especially if you don't need to read the write immediately. It's way more performant. They are kit cars, mostly built at homes with big garages and enthusiastic owners. A kit car. I like the idea of a kit car, I gotta say. But there's no way I could actually put a car together from a kit. My father's way more into cars than me. No, not a Mini. What was it called? Shoot. Not a Cooper. It was, oh my gosh. There was a tiny little car, a 2-seater, I think, that he wanted to restore, and he got most of the way. I want to say it's a Mini. He called it a Mini, but I don't remember what the actual name for it was. Maybe it wasn't Mini. It wasn't a Cooper. You say enthusiastic, I hear complete, absolute car nerd I'd totally go for a beer with. Morris Mini. No, it was... Oh, crying out loud. Oh, jeez. It was a yellow... Once I see it, I'll know it. A very distinct look. Was it an AMC? Did they make them? No, it wasn't AMC. Oh, crying out loud. No, it wasn't a Fiat. It was a car company, at least in the States, I think they went out of business. Maybe it wasn't Mini. Oh, crying out loud. It was in his garage for probably 10, 15 years in various states of restoration. And he was really into that car for some reason, like maybe from his childhood or something. Describe it. Kind of a stubby car, like two-tone. Two-seater. Like, I mean, it had to be 60s or 50s even. really, really tiny. Kind of, it had like the headlights were kind of like their own, like kind of from the front. It's like a little, I don't know, like a little sort of half pipe sort of thing for each side. Ah, gosh. Tiny cars from the 1960s. See if anything comes up. Those are not, oh, not cards, cars. Here it is, right here. What is this called? Metropolitan, that's what it is, Metropolitan. So he was working on a car like this. Yeah, see the little kind of like tubes, half pipe sort of things in the front there? And it's two-tone. His was yellow. But it was a Metropolitan. He loved this. For whatever reason, he was really into this. Really tiny thing. Nash Metropolitan. There you go. I don't know why I said Mini for some reason. Nash Metropolitan. And he got rid of it recently, but he was working on this. For whatever reason, he was really into this car. He bought one that was like kind of rusty and from a junkyard sort of thing, and he restored it. And he had some sort of electrical problems. It was hard to get parts for it, things like that. So he eventually sold it. But yeah, this was in his garage for years and years, working on it. I helped him a few times, I think. Maybe, I don't know. But there you go. Nash Metropolitan. That was his car. I don't know if this was something that was just the States. I feel like it was in... Oh, it was AMC. Yeah, it was AMC. Yeah. It was a Hudson later. Okay. There you go. Oh, it was in the United Kingdom. Yes. Production for foreign markets. New Zealand. UK. Yeah, so I was partially right at least. There you go. It's funny that tiny cars from the 60s was it's the first result. That's great. Okay. Okay, so is that one showing up now? Where am I? Scanning consistency. Yep, still not indented. I keep forgetting to do that. 0. Ventura. There we go. Okay. Not bounded. Matches not bounded. Okay, there we go. And then I will do the next one, which will be the request plus. So go back over to program here. Close this down and request plus. Notice that Mike, Upsert. That should have returned them because it's using request plus. Oh, again, it's because of this capital U for user. There we go. So that's always going to return Mike request plus because request plus will wait on the index to be updated, which means it could have higher latency, but it's going to trade it off for stronger consistency. So that is one of the options you can do here at the API level. So this is called request plus. It's going to wait for the whole index to update as of the time of the query. So, if you have a system where it's a lot of operations happening, this may not be the best option because it's going to your performance may suffer. But if you really, really want to have like up to the latest, indexed data, this is an option. Okay, and over here, I'm going to replace this with this. Request plus. And Antora. Refresh. And again, I keep forgetting the indent, but it's also kind of a good check to make sure I'm in the right place. Intent equals 0. Okay. And then middle ground is, of course, AT plus or at plus. I can't never remember which one it is. This is kind of the good middle ground where you can say, well, I don't want to wait for every single index item to be indexed. I just want these specific items to be indexed. So I'm going to get ahead of this and fix it. And this requires a little more work because you have to collect this mutation state from your upsert result. So there's one extra step here for you to tell the query engine, just wait for this one to be indexed. So this is like a read your own write situation. So this is going to give you kind of the best of both worlds. The only trade-off here is you have to do a little bit more coding to do it. Okay, and wait a second here. Wait just a cotton picking minute. Huh. Weird. Why did I have capital U there? All right, so if I do .NET around here, this will again always give, oh, default not found. Okay, see, this is why it's good to execute these things. Why is it not happy? Key space not found, no bucket name default. Where am I specifying default? Oh, right here. Travel sample. And this is one of the great things about AsciiDoc, is I can actually change the code around and work on it, and I won't have to copy and paste it into the docs. What's the problem here? Why aren't you happy? You're supposed to return to me, Mike. Why am I getting address? I don't want address in there. I don't want the address here either. I'm not putting an address. Take that out. That's just superfluous. Upsert result, mutation state, consistent with state, passing in the state. There we go. Type equals user. Oh, yeah. What is happening? Upsert result, mutation state. That's supposed to work. Is it getting inserted? ID. It just says Mike. It should say Mike AT plus. Oh. Did I just go out of... There we go. Type user. Name Mike, type user. Oh, it's a capital T here. My gosh. Things that are biting me today. Case sensitivity and backslashes. Still not happy. Type user. Let me just run the query. Type equals user. Oh. It's this X. This bit me last time too. Yeah, and this was actually a problem with the documentation as it was. There was no aliasing happening. So if a user came and copied and pasted that code, they wouldn't get an error message, but they get code that wouldn't work, which is no good. All right, so now it works, and we verify that it works. And now I can put this into the documentation. So I want everything here, the upsert, state, and the query. I want all of that in there. This is going to be at plus, AT plus, whatever. And down here, and okay. Good, good, good. This is good stuff. I'm not going to forget indenting this time. No, I'm going to forget indenting. So I just want to verify that it is doing what I expect it to. There it is. Okay. Fantastic. Just fantastic. Indent equals 0. Okie doke. That's it. I think I'm done. Let's do rebuild and look through it once more. Read through this once more, make sure all these links work, and then time to commit. And looks like we're good on time too, so I'm going to hit the posts here. Okay, NQL queries from the SDK. We're in the .NET section. You can query for documents and couchbase using the NQL query language, a language based on SQL but designed for structured and flexible JSON documents. Querying can solve typical programming tasks such as finding a user profile by email address, Facebook login, user ID. Fine. Our query service uses NQL, which will be fairly familiar to anyone who's used any dialect of SQL. Further resources. Does this link work? Oh, that just goes to the bottom of the page. Fine. For learning about NQL are listed at the bottom of the page. Before you get started, you may wish to check out the NQL intro page, which that should link over to, another page here. Or just dive in with a query request, a query against our travel sample data set, which this links to same place. Oh, those don't look like they're correct links. Now, one thing I am doing that might be a good idea to turn off is if I go back to, if I'm here at Doc's site, one thing I decided to do to speed things up was omit the server docs, because it is a big site. So why don't I do that? Turn that back on. Just uncomment it right here. It's going to take longer to build. But hopefully it'll give me more accurate. I appreciate documentation. I appreciate good documentation even more. That's good to hear, Meatball. I think the truth is a lot of people, a lot of developers, many developers, just to weasel out of things here, many developers say they want good documentation. And I think I'm extremely guilty of this, don't actually read it. But yes, I still agree it's an important thing to do. It's an important task. And I think it is true that developers want good documentation. But what I think what actually happens is they get frustrated by, certainly get frustrated by inaccurate or bad documentation. And I have a hypothesis that what developers really want is the documentation to solve their problem for them. They want to just go and copy and paste from Stack Overflow. And that's really not going to work most of the time, right? Interesting. That is, it says that your message was sexual. That's why it blocked it temporarily, but it's not sexual. I absolutely despise the auto documentation plague. By that you mean I think documentation is generated by like Java Doc, for instance. Mini Wheats with a subscription. Oh, another faithful subscriber to my channel's Mini Wheats. I appreciate that, Mini Wheats. Thank you very much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the stream. You're going to be at Ohio in the end of July. If you want to get lunch or a beer or something, heck yeah. End of July. When end of July, actually? Because if it's right at the tail end of July, I'm going to be hopefully getting out of here and finally going on a vacation. Source comments to API documentation. You know, there is a place for that, Meatball. That is important. 29th to 3rd, RIP. So, Mini Wheats, I'm leaving on July 30th. Yeah, that's weird, Calvin. I don't know why it's doing that. So 29th, I might be in town, but so yeah, give me a ring, for sure. You took the quotes off of it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally a permitted term. I don't see what the problem is there. If you have read old documentation, Win32, Super Bible, Borland, Delphi, books like those, every function had a complete example. So, yes, that's one of the things I like about, and I know this is probably not php.com. Parents helping parents. Wow. Interesting. php.net. Some dirty word in there somewhere we're not all privy to. Yeah, I don't know. Let's not explore that too much. But PHP, if you search for like I don't know what's a good one. PHP is like that, yeah. And the cool thing about PHP, let me see if I can find a good example here, like explode. If this is the case anymore, I'm not sure. There used to be for every method in PHP. There's an example. Here's the parameters. Here's how it works. There's some examples, which is cool. But there's also, and see also, there's also used to be like huge comment threads going back to like 2002 or even earlier than that. That would show you like people discussing this and the history of it. I don't know if that's even there anymore. Is bool. Yeah, that's kind of a shame. That was one of my favorite things. I think they removed that at some point. All the old comments about it. And you'd see examples in the comments, so people would contribute to the docs kind of indirectly with a comment thread and discussion. So yeah, I've always liked PHP documentation, but it's a shame they removed that part of it. Although I'm sure there's reasons for it, because some of those comments, you know how comments are. They get a little, stupid sometimes. But I always found them super helpful in my PHP days. Documentation, yeah, that is not a dirty word, so we should definitely make that be a permitted term. You have to moderate them. Yeah, certainly, but like it wasn't even a level of like, people spamming or anything like that. It was just, people's opinions can get a little, it's hard to read inflection on the internet just in text, right? It's hard to tell sarcasm. Oh, you think you know what it is? Oh, yeah, I think I figured it out too, Calvin. Holy cow. Oh, gosh. Let's just leave it at that. The end. No more discussion. It's hard to figure out, like, inflection from people's tone, right? In comments. So, yeah. Sometimes people see things as just, I'm just presenting the information. I'm just presenting the facts. Other people can look at that and say, oh, you're being a jerk about it, right? Stack Overflow is the same way, honestly. And I think people talk about Stack Overflow has a problem with being inclusive to new developers and things like that. Sure. And that's not a Stack Overflow problem. It's a text problem, right? You're talking to my guy all wrong. It's the wrong tone. What? Is that a quote from something? I don't know. Mini Wheats, how's it going with the JavaScript stuff, by the way? The what was it called? Tamper Monkey. How's the Tamper Monkey going? All right. I want to. Okay, is my build done yet? Okay, it's done. It's a long one. All right, is this going to work now? Doesn't look like it. Oh, no. Oh, that one worked. That one worked. That's good. Why isn't this one working? That one's not working. Temper Monkey. And related. Temper Monkey Huggy Face. And related. So Meatball, you love Temper Monkey? Is that what you're saying? Because it's pretty cool, actually. It kind of reminds me of Grease Monkey a little bit. It's probably named with Grease Monkey in mind. But it works with Chrome. I don't know if Grease Monkey ever worked with Chrome. It was always a Firefox thing. Yee, it's awesome. There you go. Mini Wheats, Meatball. You should all follow each other because Tamper Monkey is right up both yours alley. Unless you already know each other. Maybe you're here because of Mini Wheats or vice versa. No, I know Mini Wheats. Why Mini Wheats is here. Speaking of pizza, by the way, Mini Wheats, we were talking about pizza earlier. Mini Wheats and I actually spent many a shift working together at that pizza shop. And slow times, Mini Wheats used to play Super Nintendo RPGs in the back room when we were slow. You've written entire page scrapers with Tamper Monkey. Yeah, I think that's what Mini Wheats has been doing. He's doing some sort of page scraping. Pizza sounds good. Going to get some for lunch. That does sound better and better, doesn't it? I just had pizza on Tuesday. Can I justify pizza again on Thursday? Usually Friday is an automatic pizza day here at the Groves house. So I don't know. Thursday though, I think 100% pizza every day. Eat pizza every day. What was I going to say? Oh, tonight might be baseball. My son's baseball team has started back up, and I'm wondering if he has practice tonight. It's pizza, man. It's food, not a hand grenade. Okay. June 4th. Let's see. June 4th. No practice or game tonight. So I don't have any major plans tonight as far as I know. No conduct tonight. No baseball practice. So maybe it is pizza tonight. I don't know. Pizza tonight and tomorrow. We just had pizza on Tuesday, though. It's going to be a tough sell to the family. I was going to say, if there was a sports game of any type, I would know. No, it's not Major League Baseball. Korean baseball is not on until like 3 in the morning. I'm recording it. I watch it every once in a while, lunch breaks and stuff. Korean baseball is such a cool thing, by the way. If you're not watching the KBO, you don't know what you're missing. Although it's unfortunate because KBO is finally on ESPN. They're showing Korean baseball, but there's no crowds. And that's one of the best things about like Asian baseball in general, like Japanese baseball, Korean. I haven't watched any Chinese baseball, like Taiwan baseball. The crowds are just absolutely nuts. Like every pitch, every play, they're into it. And if you go to a baseball game in the United States, or probably the same way in like they've had some baseball games in London recently too. I think it's not really the same thing. It's just like kind of a place you go and hang out, eat hot dogs, you watch baseball. You cheer for the big plays and stuff. But like every player has their own song, dance. The crowd is just so into it. And I wish that was like that in the United States. Let's see. Bundesliga has been broadcasting again, so I've had to monitor German soccer. It's interesting. Soccer is not my deal at all. I can't get into it. No one here at the Groves house is into soccer. I guess my daughter kind of has expressed interest in playing it a little bit, but my son doesn't like soccer. Yeah, Cars on Fire. I'm not into that either. The whole like sports riot thing, and just in case you're watching this in the future, riots and like property damage and stuff like that. It's kind of a sensitive topic right now, so even less so justified into, it's not cool, right? I live in a city, Columbus, where college football is like this massive, massive thing, and there has been like riots and fires and property damage after a stupid football game, and not acceptable, not cool. But I'm talking about like acceptable like excitement during the game, and baseball is often considered the slow, boring sport, but like in Japan and Korea, the fans are way, way into it. And soccer in Europe and South America is probably a very similar thing where it's just like this, like it's just a constant action sort of thing. Yeah, enthusiasm, yes. Vandalism, no. We can celebrate sports without, property damage, I think. Okay. All right. We're straying dangerously close to politics, so I want to stay away from that. But yes, gotta check out some Korean baseball. It's very cool, very, very exciting. But it's just disappointing that it takes a pandemic to get Korean baseball on ESPN, or Japanese baseball, and it's just such a cool thing. I really appreciate their enthusiasm for baseball, and I wish we have that level of enthusiasm for baseball in the country that invented baseball. So, yeah. All right. So, what the problem is here? Ooh, examples. Yeah, this whole thing's about examples. But the link is not working. It won't work. So I botched the link, clearly. What link did I botch? Travel sample dataset. Server, manage settings. Okay, so I need to figure out what is the correct link for that. So what I need to do is I'm going to open this another page, another tab here. Docs server. And what I want is sample buckets. This is where I want to be linked to. Server. So, I don't want it to be 6.5 though. Current. It's not there. It's not there. Do I have to pick one? Do I have to pick 6.5? I don't want to do that. I want it to go to the latest. Because if I go to, the actual site, and say server, and I can just switch 6.5 to current. There in the URL. Which is going to point to the current version. Maybe the docs team doesn't want that. But if I go to, where is it? We're getting close to 4 o'clock. I have a meeting at 4, so I'm going to have to end here real soon. I need to figure out why this link isn't working. Manage, where is the settings? Oh yeah, manage settings. Sample buckets. This is what I want. I want it to go to current. See? It works up there. Up here, if I swap out current, it won't work. File not found. So it's not generating a file. It must be some sort of URL alias for that. No bueno. I'm going to have to ask the docs team about that. That is going to have to be something I raise with them. So let me just make a note of that. Ask docs team about current. About linking to current page. Current page. For instance, example there, and it doesn't work. It won't work if I link like this works. This doesn't works. This doesn't work. So this works locally. This doesn't works. Sorry, I'm being silly. And I know I shouldn't do this because some non-native English speakers are here. This doesn't work is the correct way to say that. This works, this doesn't work. Why is that? So I need to figure out if they have recommendations for that. I mean, should it link to the current page? Maybe, do I need to peg it to a specific version? I don't know. All right. Well, now's a good time as any to stop. Appreciate you all hanging out with me, making this docs exercise a little more fun to go through. And I appreciate the help, even if you're just rubber ducking. But you're doing more than that. You're more than rubber duck. You're a fun group to hang out with. Surly Dev especially helping me get through that issue, work through that issue. Even though you didn't come up with the exact answer, you still helped me think through it, so I appreciate that. Meatball, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the follow. Oh, no, absolutely. You are the ones... Oh, I should say thank you too. So the follows. I want to say thank you to Mini Wheats for resubscribing again. And definitely, if you're in Ohio, if there's like one day we're going to overlap, we should hang out for sure. I think my brother's also coming through Ohio, but through like mid-July. So there's not going to be overlap there. I only say that because Mini Wheats and my brother live in kind of a similar area of the world. Arts Plunge, or Art Splunge, whichever one it is. Thank you for the follow. Calvin is always in Ohio. That's not true, Calvin. We just hung out last night, just not in person. That's all. We should definitely hang out though, like if you're comfortable with that, right? Absolutely. Starting in, I'm starting to ease back into the world myself. I've gone to an actual restaurant recently. I've gone to an actual in-person church service recently. So I'm starting to ease back into the world. And early July is my daughter's birthday. My wife has been planning her birthday party for, I don't know, her whole life, it seems like. So, ready or not, that's happening, right? So, if you're up for it, going back and meeting in person, I am for it. Your church is huge, not risking that, but you can drive-through pickup, not dine in. Yeah, so my church is easing back into the in-person thing. We still have the drive-in services. You drive into the church parking lot, and we still have online services. But we're eventually phasing into the in-person service, knowing full well that lots of our congregation is not going to be comfortable doing that, which is totally fine, totally cool. But I'm an usher at my church, so I kind of have to be on the front lines of this, like getting people back into and being comfortable being in an in-person service. So anyway, Mini Wheats. All that to say, Calvin Allen, Mini Wheats, yes, I'm up for meeting you all in person if you're comfortable with that and if the timing works out. Art Splunge or Arts Plunge, thank you for the follow. Meatball, thank you for the follow. JOA of 28, thank you for the follow. Augusto Priotti, Augusto, thank you for the follow. Nobo Dad, thank you for the follow. I appreciate all of you. And there's a plugin to like show credits. So maybe I should start doing that from now on. Like show the credits. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the chat. I will be back again Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. Probably. I will probably not be here next Thursday because it'll be NDC Oslo, and you all should be at NDC Oslo instead. Look at all these people we can raid. Who should we raid? I think Kevin Griffin seems like the right one to raid because he is a team member who I hang out with a lot. So I think we should go raid Kev Griff for shoresies, unless anyone has a better suggestion. Oh, Jeff Blankenberg. Haven't seen Jeff Blankenberg in a while. Should we raid Jeff Blankenberg? Anybody have any preferences? Jeff Blankenberg or Kevin Griffin? Who should we raid? Who? Any other suggestions? Mr. Demon Wolf, haven't seen him in a while. Thanks, Calvin. Jeff or Kevin. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for really taking a stand there. I favor sort of the underdogs, right? So right now, it's not much difference. We got 7 versus Kevin Griff 3. So if I had to pick, I'm going to go with 1 Kev Griff. Going once. Going twice. All right. There it is. So if you're joining me in this raid, why isn't my bot working? What is happening? Something must have crashed. I don't know what's going on with my bot. Why you crash, bot? Is the bot still working? So it's just like the Twitch part may have been broken or something. Anyway, all right, I'll just put a message in here. Bada bing, bada boom. It's a raid, and I'll put in some emotes for subscribers and non-subscribers alike. Where's the generic raid one? Raid. This one. Okay. So copy and paste this message. Go over there, be nice to Kevin, ask questions, say hi, post this raid message, and I will see you all over there. Thank you very much for joining me. You all have a good one.